So when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle released their statement, they also happened to release a brand new website as well. And this is where it's so interesting, because this is obviously something that Harry and Meghan have really planned out. And on their new website, they've laid out a series of questions and answers. They've thought about the things that people will want to know. One of those questions is, are they going to keep their royal titles? And what Harry and Meghan point out on their website is that there are other members of the royal family who have normal jobs as well as having titles. And so we're looking at Princess Beatrice, Princess Eugenie. There are people who have had normal jobs, and that's what Harry and Meghan want.
Can Harry get a normal job?
You know, Harry and Meghan want to be able to use their royalty, their celebrity for good, but have more freedom to be able to do that. As a senior member of the royal family, it's very much anything that they do, they have to get permission from the Queen, from his father, from his brother, who's also going to be king. Harry and Meghan want to be able to help as many people as possible and not be limited in any way. This is our way of kind of saying, we want to live in the UK, but we also want to be abroad. Bear in mind, Meghan, of course, is from America. She wants to be close to where she was brought up as well. They want to have as normal a childhood as Archie as well. And I don't think we can kind of, in any way, underestimate how becoming a father has changed Harry. There are very few people on the planet who can possibly understand what growing up royal really means and how it feels. Harry and William did not own their childhood. It seems like on the outside that yes, they did a couple of personal appearances and a photo shoot on their first day of school, and they stood on the Buckingham Palace balcony. But we can't understand the psychology of being a child and knowing that the public owes something, like you owe something to the public. Harry and Meghan want Archie to be normal, to live a normal life. They don't want him to be, his life to be restricted in any way just because he's been born into a family that he didn't ask to be in.
So opting to not give him a royal title from birth, that seems like one clue that this is something that Harry and Meghan have been planning from the beginning.
I think Prince Harry only really knew one way to be a royal until he met Meghan. And he's met this woman who is so incredibly accomplished and actually really, really, really smart, and who's turned around to him and said, you know what, there might be a way to do things differently. And together as a couple, as a family, they've brainstormed. And yes, when they look at their children, when they look at how George, Louis and Charlotte, William and Kate's children, are being brought up, it's understandable for them to say, you know what, we don't want that for our son. We want something different.
And what about what they want for themselves? And from the beginning, it seems like there's been little pieces of evidence culminating along the way that they did want to be a different type of royal couple.
Absolutely. Harry and Meghan have really shown that they are more forward-thinking in the way that they do things, whether it's down to their Instagram and following charities that they're supporting in a certain month, or being a little bit more open about what they're showing. They've shown that they understand the media in a different way. And for the royal family, who's never really had very many outsiders come into the family and say, guess what, I know the media too. Meghan Markle was a celebrity. She knew how the media worked independently, away from the royal family. So to come in and say, this is what you can do for social media. You want to help a charity? You don't have to just release a statement. We can do this. That's very, very smart. Harry has absolutely modernised his role on what being the spare heir can be. He did that before he met Meghan with the Invictus Games. He's been incredible with his purpose and his power. He's now met somebody who's equally as powerful and also shown him different ways. Together, they are a different kind of royalty, and they're now taking this unprecedented but should actually be unsurprising decision to say, we have been Harry, I've been born into the royal family, but I don't want this, and I have a choice to step away if I want to. Nobody can blame him for that.
Now, speaking of them being such a great match and so evenly matched, a lot of royal fans are supporting this decision, but there's been the inevitable backlash as well, but particularly toward Meghan. She was the only name trending on Twitter, not Harry. Why is this being targeted toward her? Because this is the decision they both made.
This is a decision that they've both made, but the British press especially has been particularly brutal against Meghan. There have been absolute racist comments made against her, and it is no surprise to me that as the person who's come into the royal family, that she is the person that's being blamed for Harry turning his back on his family. Harry has always lived and had his own mind and seen the world in a different way to, let's say, his father, because of his mother, because Princess Diana really brought Harry and William up to be different. William did not have a choice. He's going to be the king. Harry does have a choice. And for that reason, like having the background of his mother saying, no, I want my children to understand what it's like to be homeless, for example, and to do this and to do that. Like, it is of no surprise that this is a man that he has grown into. And now he's met a woman who can also help and show him other ways as well. The British press will blame Meghan. The headlines will be brutal against her, but they've been brutal already anyway, even when she's played the rules of being in the royal family. It hasn't helped her. She's still like the bad person in the marriage. She will continue to be the bad person in the marriage, but there is no doubt in my mind that this is a decision that's been made by two equal partners, and it's actually for their son.
Will it make life easier for them?
I think initially this is going to make life much harder for them. I think that for the reason being that people will blame Meghan, and I think that's going to be very hard. But ultimately, I think that this will work for them. They are doing this for their child, and I think, you know, it's going to be difficult as far as the press interest and the paparazzi following them. If they buy a house in Beverly Hills, you can only imagine the kind of like press that they're going to get. But ultimately, this is about happiness and mental health, which is honestly like Prince Harry's main initiative, right, when it comes to his charities. And it's also their main concern when it comes to their child.
Now let's talk about the timing. Their 6-week holiday break, did that seem now in hindsight an opportunity to lay the final foundation for this move?
Look, they've just come back from 6 weeks off. And I think when anybody takes some time off, they have some time to reflect, right? And that's what these two have just done. We can see from their new website that this has been carefully planned out. Obviously, Buckingham Palace's statement shows that they seem a little bit surprised by the move, but Meghan and Harry knew they were going to do this. The website has all the answers to any questions people might have. I think when you take some time off and really reflect, we're in a brand new decade, and look at, we have modernized the royals already, William and Harry, but I want to modernize my role as Prince Harry more so. That's fine, he has every right.
So let's talk about the funding a little bit, because that can get a bit convoluted for the average person reading that. So when they talk about working toward financial independence, is Meghan going to be an actress again? How is Harry going to make money outside the royal income?
You know, they do lay out their financials on their website, and they talk about how 5% of the money that they get is really from the Queen's purse. And they want to they're looking towards a future where they're not taking that 5%, which is something that's actually attainable. They also take money from the Duchy of Cornwall, so that's Prince Charles's estate. That's something they're entitled to do. But bear in mind, Prince Harry is financially independent to a certain degree. He has £16 million that he inherited from his mother, so he does have money. Meghan is also financially independent. Last year we saw that Prince Harry announced that he was doing a TV show with Oprah. I know that there have been other media opportunities offered to them that they have contemplated. I don't think it is beyond the possibility that they will actually do more stuff when it comes to having a voice and using their royalty to talk about issues, but also make money from that, especially if it means that they can live a more normal life for a family.
Sure. And where will they live? Their announcement specifically said balancing time between the UK and North America, not just the US. So is it safe to assume that Canada could be involved?
As far as where Harry and Meghan will live, when they say North America, I think the reason that they're giving a general region is because actually they want choices, right? They're asking for freedom, or at least they're telling the public that they're getting freedom. And in that comes their choice as far as whether they have a home in Canada, which is obviously very close to their heart. They're both like part in heading up the Commonwealth. And also like Meghan lived there when she was filming Suits. But Los Angeles, bear in mind, is Meghan's home. It's where she grew up, it's where her mother is, it's where she knows. And I think when we look at stories about William and Kate, for example, and Kate spending a lot of time in Berkshire, her home, as a normal person, to have that, remind yourself of where you're from and to feel like you're at your home, rooted in that, is very important. So I think for Meghan and Harry to have the choice of whether it's Canada, the United States, it could be Washington, it could be depending on where their work opportunities come. But that's why they've been general in that geographical region.
Could you see Meghan running for office? Speaking of Washington?
Wow. Could I see Meghan running for office? I would have said a week ago, absolutely not.
But now?
Now I think the opportunities for Meghan and Harry are endless. And especially if they make this move and just allow themselves to be exposed to lots of different people, lots of different possibilities as far as what they can do with their role now. I think it would be difficult. It would absolutely come with some criticism to have a political affiliation, right? The royal family are not allowed to be politically inclined. But who knows what might happen? And if not Meghan and Harry, maybe Archie. Like, they are setting their son up to be somebody who is exposed to privilege and the power that comes with that, but also exposed to normal life as well.
Having choices that Harry never did.
Yes.
So what's next? What's their next step, do you think?
You know, I think the next step is really going to come from the rest of the royal family. Their statement has really indicated that this is something that has not been fully thought out on their side, even though obviously from Harry and Meghan's website it's been thought out by them.
But they were caught a little off guard, no?
It looks like they were caught off guard, and I think that there are some questions that Harry and Meghan have answered on their website, such as they're keeping their title and they're going to keep Frogmore Cottage. But we'll see whether the royal family want to do that. I think there are also some questions as far as Harry and William's friendship. Mm-hmm. There, of course, has been a rumoured feud, which Harry then admitted himself 2 months ago when he did the documentary with Tom Bradbury. I think that this is really Harry making a different choice from what his brother has done and saying, I'm not going to be here as your spare heir, as your support, as your double act anymore. I want to do my own thing and be independent. That is a very, very interesting decision to make, and how that will play out with the two brothers, we'll just have to wait and see.
Is this something Harry could have done without Meghan?
I don't think Harry would have done this without Meghan, but I do not think this is Meghan's fault. I think that Meghan has provided an important education for Harry that's shown him that the fate that he was born into, he didn't have to accept, and that there was another way to live his life. And I think that having her by his side has helped him work that out.